Hello and welcome to iBluAirJgR Gaming for Comedy. This is Reyna, the sassy, gangsta, big booty rogue supporter. And yes, the big booty is a part of her toolkit. It is a very important aspect of her gameplay. But seriously, what's going on here? We're going to talk about a lot of different things. Love, sex, relationships, food. But more important than that, we're going to talk about Reyna and how she plays on the capture game mode. So what is Reyna? Battleborn classifies her as a shielder and a rescuer, and that's a bit abstract. So in layman's terms, she is an offensive support character. Her abilities are fairly straightforward, but they can be a little bit complex to execute. Her first ability is Shield Booster. It applies an overshield to a target ally, and because of her passive ability, she also gets an overshield applied to herself. While that overshield is active, using Reyna's secondary weapon, Plasma Pulse will heal the target's shields. Her next ability is Priority Target. This deals some moderate damage to an enemy, and it causes them to take increased damage for the next few seconds. This is what makes her a more offensive support character. And last but not least, her ultimate ability, Photonic Ward. It creates a big bubble, and while that bubble is being formed, it pushes all the enemies out of the bubble, and then it blocks enemy projectiles for the duration. It's a very powerful ability when you activate it at the right time. Boom. Okay, so we're already getting right into it. We're in a capture map right now. This is the Temples map, and what we're going to do is, while this game is going on, we're going to talk about the different Helix abilities, a little bit about Reyna's gameplay, how she works, and all that good stuff. So, first and foremost, the first ability selection, I like to go with Waste Reduction. It increases the projectile speed and the range of her priority target ability. So this is sort of making her more of an offensive character. The alternative is to increase the supporting potential, the defensive support potential of her shield booster by allowing it to restore your ally's shields in addition to granting an overshield. So that's the more defensive option. I went with the more offensive option. Priority Target is a very powerful ability. You know, the enemy team's got a Miko running around, blam, mark him up with that priority target, and then everybody can just get in there, take him out, because it increases everyone's damage dealt, or, well, it increases the damage they take, but it's, you know, essentially it's increasing the damage people deal to the target that gets marked up. So Reyna's primary weapon is a laser pistol. Her secondary weapon is a plasma pulse, right? So it's kind of like a Mega Man style gauntlet. And the cool thing about the plasma pulse, it deals decent damage. It's not that high, not that low, but it deals 50% bonus damage to enemy shields. So the gist of how she's supposed to work, and I don't always do this because I forget sometimes, is you're supposed to lay into them with the plasma pulse, blah 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 blah, and then empty to load the clip of the pistol. That's sort of the gist of it. But we're seeing everything just going on at once right now. Putting those overshields on Oscar Mike, putting the overshield on teammates. But here's the tricky thing about Reyna. She has potential to be a very tanky character, but only when there's an ally nearby. You saw I tried to activate the shield booster, but there was nobody nearby. You can only give yourself and an ally, you can only grant yourself an overshield when there's an ally nearby, right? So you can't just run around putting overshields on yourself. It just doesn't work, right? And if you could, that would be really cool, but you can't, right? So Reyna, she works best with teammates nearby. See, look at this. Teammates trying to get that overshield on, boom. Trying to just encourage him to stay in the fight, not to go back to base so soon. But yeah, Reyna, you need to be around teammates. And my teammates, they're bailing out, so I got to bail out with them. I can't stay in there and fight by myself because I can't apply overshields to myself without the team nearby. Boom, getting a nice assist there. It's really exciting gameplay with Reyna. I do like her. And they classify her as a shielder and a rescuer, and that starts to make more sense when you actually start playing with her, because the overshield she grants only last for I want to say it's 8 seconds. It's either 6 or 8 seconds. Because it lasts for such a short duration, you can't passively shield people, right? So you can't put a shield on somebody and then just forget about them forever, right? You have to put those shields on when they're going to need it, right? If you think somebody's going to need a shield within the next 8 seconds, put it on them. You can't just be like, oh, wait a minute, let's buff before we go into this fight. No, because you can't buff everybody. You got to pick and choose who's getting those shields, and you got to try and really time it out right and give the shields to the right person at the right time. And that's what makes Reyna a bit more of an advanced character, right? It's because you have to have that extra battlefield awareness. And actually, you know, speaking of battlefield awareness, picking up shards. Shards are very important. Shards and levels and all that stuff, very important in the capture mode. And here we go. Wait a second. We're getting our first piece of gear for this match. I went with a more offensive gear loadout. Went with reload speed, movement speed, and sprint speed. Just because Reyna, she's kind of squishy. The reload speed is for the pistol. I tend to use the pistol more than I should. Like I said, you're supposed to use that pulse blast. Wait, hold on. What's it called? The plasma pulse. The Mega Man gauntlet. You're supposed to use the Mega Man gauntlet in tandem with the pistol. But I have a tendency to just use the pistol just way more than I should, so I do like the ability to reload it a lot well, you know, like 20% faster, I think is what I had on the piece of gear. So I find reload speed to be really nice on her, especially because she has such a small magazine. But here we go, getting kind of chewed out, and once again, you're starting to see the fact that I'm not very good at this game, but you're also seeing that Reyna, she can't protect herself without allies nearby. And I'm going to try and pick up a new Helix ability in a second, but before I do that, I'm gonna get shot by the Varelsi, and that's very unfortunate. I just got killed by an NPC. But here we go, picking up the next ability, Lockdown. This is something that allows Reyna to protect herself against melee to a degree. If you get a target marked with priority target, then shooting that target with the pistol will apply a 3-second slow to that target. So that's very helpful. If somebody's chasing somebody down and you don't want them to get away, boom, put that priority target, then lay into them with the pistol. Or, you know, if a melee is all up in your grill, if Wrath is chopping you up, because that's a problem, then you shoot that priority target and then start laying into them with the pistol and then sprint away, and you'll get to safety. So it's an offensive option. I go for the offensive options with Reyna for the most part because her overshield, her base defensive abilities are still pretty strong even without speccing into them too much. So yeah, I use the pistol a bit too much, and that's the one thing that will make you a stronger Reyna player, is really using the pistol and the Mega Man gauntlet together. Like right now, I should have been doing a little bit more gauntlet Mega Man stuff before while his shields were still up, but that's okay. That's okay because he's going down. He's very tanky, but you can see that reload speed coming into play a little bit more. The clip, it just empties so fast, and you just want to get it right back into the action. And this guy, he's going down. Am I gonna pick up the kill? I don't know. Yes, I am. He's done. But you know, and here we go. We got Toby on the field. His name is Toby, and he's very powerful. He's very big. Reyna, she's not, in my opinion, she's not that good at taking out heavy targets. If a target has a lot of health, and I pretty much got caught in a nice little gangbang there. That's unfortunate, but she's not that great at taking out heavy characters until you get the Optical Amplifier. This is the third skill in her tree. It increases the damage of the pistol by 18%. This is just a nice way to make her, once again, a little bit more aggressive as a supporting player. Just increasing that damage, making the pistol a little bit more powerful, help you get, you know, once you get those shields shredded, the pistol is a powerful tool for the for Reyna. It's a powerful tool. The alternative for that, once again, it's sort of, the alternative for the pistol damage is it makes your plasma pulse shots home in on a target if they get hit by priority target, and it's really cool. It's really cool, but I tend to lean towards the pistol damage just because it's more of the hardcore option, because the pistol always deals more DPS than the plasma pulse once the shields are down, and that's what really counts. When the shields are down, that's when the damage really counts, right? But you know, in any case, Reyna, she's She's fun. She's a lot of fun to play, but she takes some getting used to. The hardest thing to get used to, though, with Reyna is when to put the shields on people. In this situation, I put the shield on Marquise a few seconds ago because I wanted to go into the fray, right? And that's the thing. You have to sort of balance out, am I putting the shield on for me or am I putting it on for my teammate? And there are instances when if you get caught out in a situation where you shouldn't be, what you can do is you can, just run, first of all, just run. But second of all, you can toggle up that shield booster and then put it on the first ally that you find. That'll potentially save your life and just give them an overshield, which is always nice. And here we go, putting that shield on, getting the priority target on Toby. He's taking bonus damage from myself and Caldarius, whoever else was on him. And that's what it's all about, getting that priority target out and then doing the business, getting it in. So here we go. I'm taking the second gear option, getting a little bit of extra movement speed. It's not too necessary in this particular match because there aren't any melees really trying to chase me out. So it doesn't really matter. But I do like having the extra movement speed. There are a ton of different ways to build your character. But wait, before we do that, here we go. Vital Protocol. This adds a healing effect to your shield booster. And this, I personally think this is one of the best options you can have for your shield booster. It just, the amount of sustainability that you grant to yourself and to your teammates with this ability is incredible. The other option, Vengeance Protocol, when you put the shield booster on somebody, it deals damage to nearby enemies. That's great if you have somebody to coordinate with, right? So if you've got a melee on your team, if you got Wrath with you, and you're on TeamSpeak with them, or if you're using the in-game's voice chat, right? You say, okay, I'm getting ready to go and get that shield booster ready. You toggle it up. As soon as they get near the enemy, boom, activate it, and you do some nice burst damage with it. So the offensive option in that situation is it's difficult to use because it requires that extra bit of coordination. But the heal, it's just pretty much always going to be valuable, and it heals both Reyna and the target, so that makes it even more powerful. And there we go. Toby, he was there, but he's not there anymore. His name is Toby, and he's not there anymore. That is a reference to Roots for anybody that is not getting that. Yeah. So Reyna, she's versatile. She's versatile. To a degree. She doesn't have great AoE damage. She has no AoE damage, let's be honest. But as far as single target goes and supporting her team, she's really great at doing that. The overshields themselves, they're not too powerful. Trying to get it on Caldarius, and there we go. We're seeing that heal coming out as well. But they're not too powerful, but they're not weak by any means, right? It's not gonna, this isn't like an MMO, right? It's not gonna give you a shield that's gonna last for like 30 seconds and you're gonna be able to take on an entire team forever with the shield. No, it's just gonna give you that extra edge that you need to survive a tough encounter. Like, I'm giving it to Oscar Mike there. He did die in the end, but he lasted a little bit longer than he would have had I not put the shield on him. And here we go, using the ultimate ability for the first time, putting up the bubble. There weren't any enemies nearby, but we were in a bit of a firefight, so I wanted to give the team up an option to protect themselves. That wasn't the most ideal application of that ability, but it's very versatile, and it has a pretty short cooldown, so you can kind of pop it whenever you want. But the ideal situation for it would be, if the enemy if you're in like a really heated battle with the team and you just need that protection, put it up, get everybody in the bubble, and then just start firing from the safety of the bubble. And there we go, shooting out the priority target, and it's going to hit the wall. We're getting in a bit of a firefight. Here we go, I'm putting up the bubble. And now he cannot hit me until he walks into that bubble, so I'm safe, I'm chilling. And we got some enemies around. We got Oscar Mike around, so now we can overshield ourselves. Now we're a bit more tanky. Now you're starting to see why Reyna is best when she's around a teammate. Initially, I was fighting my man Big Montana, and I didn't have the option to shield myself, so I was weak. And I wasn't ready. But now that Oscar Mike is here, I can put shields on myself when I need to, like right now, get that heal off. And look at the sustainability now that I have a teammate nearby is just multiplied sevenfold, avenged sevenfold. And there, Oscar Mike did, in fact, kill Montana, because once again, I personally feel like Reyna is not that good at killing tanky targets. Now, that could just be because I suck, but, you know, who knows? And here we go, getting the priority target on the Miko, and it's Phoebe. Phoebe just poking him in the mushroom tip. Well, it's not really a him or a her. It's a collection of funguses. So that was nice. So there we go. We're seeing the power of marking somebody up with a priority target. Just adds a significant amount of DPS to anybody that's hitting that target. And there we go. We see Toby. His name is Toby, ladies and gentlemen, and Caldarius is going to take him out. I'm going to pick up the assist. Caldarius is just doing some serious work, putting up that bubble. Not really the best application of it, but it is keeping me safe. He's trying to shoot me. The Varelsi are trying to shoot me up, but then it's not going to work. And here we go, getting a little heal on Marquise. When you take the heal option for the overshield, for shield booster, it turns it into more of an option that you can use whenever it's off cooldown. When it's just an overshield, you have to think a little bit more. Okay, are they going to need this one within the next 8 seconds? But when it heals, you can say, okay, this person is missing health. Let me heal them right now. And here we go, getting the priority target on the Miko once again. Miko is just tearing into Caldarius, but it's not going to work because he had the boost. She had the priority target. It had the priority target listed on it. Miko is a collection of fungus, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what gender Miko is. It's a collection of fungus. Fungus is genderless. It's a plant. But anyway, here we go. It's Reyna versus Reyna right now. And here we go. I got a teammate nearby putting the overshield on Oscar Mike, getting some heals up, but it broke pretty quickly. And there we go. Killed the target. And there, you know, it's a shame. We didn't get to talk too much about anything besides Reyna. But I think that's what you came here for. In the end, that's what you really came here for, getting the heals. You came to find out about getting the heals, getting the shields, and whooping that ass. And this game was very close, and it's down to the wire, and we're not able to push into this last section. We're not able to get the extra points that we need. Trying to get that shield booster on for the last time, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. We're not going to be able to really push out and get the victory. But it was a close game. It was an intense game. This was the capture mode. Capture maps are, in my experience, they're usually much quicker games, so you don't always get the opportunity to get all of your helix upgraded. You don't get to get all of your gear all the time. But in other game modes like Incursion, Meltdown, you're usually going to be in there for a little bit longer. You're going to get more experience points, etc. You're going to get to use more of the helix. And the way the characters play in the different modes, it changes up a little bit. So there you go. That has been a little bit of gameplay with Reyna, the sassy, gangsta, big booty rogue support. So this has been iBluAirJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.